Welcome to our channel. In the western Pacific Ocean, a total of 7,641 islands form the so-called Republic of the Philippines. This populous archipelagic state is among the popular tourist destinations, not only due to its natural beauty, but also for its remarkable culture and many mysteries that can be found there. Among the most terrifying are the legends of a monster named Aswang. Is it a vampire beast attacking and suspecting victims? In this video, we will introduce you to this mythical monster and also the stories and legends associated with it. But before we begin, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get started. A small shack hastily built from corrugated iron and roughly hewn logs is immersed in darkness. Here in the midst of the Filipino wilderness, its current inhabitants feel safe. Unbeknownst to them, a squad of Filipino soldiers, accompanied by several agents of the American CIA, is approaching. The first cries are heard, the first shots ring out. The ambush of several rebels hiding from the law does not go without bloodshed. When it's all over, a pair of American agents inspect the body of one slain rebel. After a brief discussion, they arrange with the soldiers that his body could still be of use to them. A few hours later, the corpse is dumped by the side of the road near one of the many Filipino villages. The man's chest appears torn, as if by some large animal. There was no blood found in the body, and there are distinct puncture marks on the neck. The very next morning, as news of its discovery spreads, panic begins to grip the region. People believe that the feared Aswang is once again prowling the surroundings. Is everything associated with it merely a legend fueled by Western agents during the Cold War? The story of a body rigged by CIA agents is one of the arguments of skeptics, who claim that tales of a mysterious creature named Aswang are nothing but fairy tales from myths and legends. Allegedly, Western operatives have used this tactic several times to spread panic in villages and regions harboring communist guerrillas and spies. However, despite this, there are still many people who believe that the stories of a bloodthirsty creature hiding in the Filipino wilderness are much older and probably much more real than one might think. Indeed, this is supported by records dating back to the 16th century, when the Spaniards, led by conquistador Miguel López de Legazpi, began to rule over the Philippines. It was during his reign that the first written records of Aswang originated. The Spaniards described it as a mythical creature that the locals feared like nothing else. Despite the fact that tales of the Aswang have been circulating in the country for centuries, there are no precise and uniform accounts of what this aggressive creature actually is. Descriptions of its appearance and behavior vary from region to region or even from city to city, which is also why many cryptozoologists do not classify it among cryptids. While some people claim it is an undead demon or even a bloodthirsty vampire, according to others, it is much more a spirit or even a demon summoned into this world through hatred and suffering. However, there are also many who lean towards cryptozoological classification and believe that the prototype of this entire legend is some frightening and scientifically undescribed creature lurking in remote corners of the country and emerging from its lair only in the deep of the night. Currently, most people subscribe to the theory put forth decades ago by Filipino writer and folklorist Maximo D. Ramos. According to him, the name Aswang actually refers to several supernatural beings and mysterious creatures from various Filipino islands and regions. Although witnesses and cryptozoologists do not agree on a specific appearance, some intersections can be found in their testimonies and any texts on this topic. Aswang is most commonly described as a skinny, bald creature with gray and blotchy skin and milky white eyes that emanate fear and show no emotions. Some claim that it moves on all fours as well as two, while others claim that it even wears torn pieces of clothing that make it most resemble a movie zombie. Despite decayed appearance and odor, is highly athletic, capable of running at phenomenal speeds and jumping to great heights, writes American cryptozoologist Nick Redfern. However, even his description faces competition in some areas, as Aswang is often portrayed as a smaller creature with wings, strikingly reminiscent of a bat or even being one. Of course, we could find many more descriptions, as well as numerous theories about what Aswang can actually do. Those who believe it is more of a demon than an animal claim that it can, for example, change appearance in various ways, and thus may ultimately possess all the mentioned forms. There even exists a hypothesis that during the day, it transforms into an inconspicuous, quiet individual, typically working as a gravedigger or butcher. At night, it then, similar to a werewolf, becomes a terrifying, bloodthirsty monster, mainly preying on women or weakened men. Aswang have a peculiar taste for the flesh of newborns and young children. In the middle of the night, they sneak into homes and kill them right in their cribs. They are said to even feed on corpses. When they cannot find a suitable victim, they resort to cemeteries, digging in the earth and exhuming the recently buried. Nick Redfern describes what is said about Aswang in the Philippines. Doesn't it rather suggest that there could be some kind of a cannibal behind it all? In the family of the Filipino woman Belene, there is a tense but joyful anticipation. At any moment, a child is about to be born, and everyone firmly believes that a healthy and happy life awaits him. The birth itself proceeds without complications. The midwife announces that it's a healthy baby boy, and in the following days, she visits the family several times to make sure that there are no problems. However, during her third visit, she notices that Belene is significantly pale and that the boy is not thriving as needed. Everything points to a tragic outcome. The weakened woman and her newborn son pass away, and rumors spread through the village that something strange was moving around Belene's house at night, something that may not even be from this world. Soon, almost everyone believes that the tragic deaths were caused by the demonic Aswang, and a group of enraged villagers even searches for it at night, in vain. The creature allegedly disappeared as quickly as it appeared. The story of Belene is probably the most mentioned alleged attack by an Aswang today. However, in the Philippines, it is by no means the only such story. There have been several reports of Aswang attacks over the past few decades. In the 1960s and 1970s, the terrifying creature, which locals called Aswang, was said to have wreaked havoc in several places, especially on the islands of Mindanao, Bohol, and Negros. Aswang is also attributed to several missing children from the 1990s, as well as the discovery of corpses, almost entirely drained of blood. And while there is almost always some skeptical explanation, there is still a significant portion of locals who believe that the truth lies behind the myth. Fear of the Aswang is not as pervasive in the Philippines today, but it is still noticeable, especially in more remote areas. Indeed, even today, patrols can be found in villages during full moon, when this creature is believed to be strongest and most aggressive, guarding houses with pregnant women against potential attacks. The so-called mananambals, witches and wizards who function as folk healers and protectors against dark influences, also have quite a lot of work in protecting against the Aswang. Occasionally, a cryptozoologist visits the islands in an attempt to find evidence of as yet undiscovered monsters hidden in the Filipino wilderness, who may have inspired at least some of the stories about the legendary creature. However, their efforts have been in vain so far. The bloodthirsty Aswang remains in the realm of myths, and according to many researchers, it will remain so forever. Or will it finally be revealed that we still know much less about the Filipino wilderness than it seems? That's all from us for today. If you're interested in videos filled with mysterious mysteries, dark stories, legends, or monsters, and you crave more, subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any new videos.